Good morning. Once again, we are coming to our community medicine lectures regarding National Program of Control of Blindness and also IDD, Iodine Deficiency Disorders. You know very well the definitions of blindness and also iodine deficiency disorder. Now let us start with the National Program for Control of Blindness. Actually, there are a lot of definitions are there. Important definitions I have already given you. Just go through and also will explain one by one. Initially, types of blindness. How many types are there? Economic, legal, social, manifest, absolute, curable, preventable, avoidable blindnesses. In this, important one is visual acuity. Depending on this only, we have to classify. And also, as per the World Health Organization, blindness also. And NPCD, National Control of Blindness, National Program of Control of Blindness, and its definitions and goals, objectives, strategies, other major activities, revised strategies and activities, and NPCB introduction and goal, blindness definitions, causes of blindness, objectives of NPCB, and some of the salient features of NPCB, and NPCB organization, what is the structure and how it functions, and school eye screening program, main features of the vision, and national level indicators to measure progress. Then proposed structure for vision 2020, right to sight. So what is visual acuity? Normal visual acuity is 20 by 20. That means measured at a distance of 20 feet, or even 6 by 60 also we can use for the visual acuity. We are measuring this one using Sneller's chart. Of course, E chart also there. Sneller's chart for the numbers, whereas E chart for the symbols, or the size of the numbers, the size of the symbols. Size of the numbers for the Sneller's chart, size of the symbols for the E chart. But usually we are going for the Snellen chart in ophthalmology, UP, and also ward and other departments. If you have visual acuity 20 by 100, that means, so one is above and below, up and down. Up is 20, down is 100. The 20 by 100 means you have to read as close as 20 feet to read what a person with normal vision can see at 100 feet. So that means normal is lower one, abnormal or maybe normal upper one. So for the examining person or patient, that is upper one. Lower one is already normal level. That is 100 is normal level, 20 is abnormal or normal, or a patient or a person to be examined for visual acuity. And slight farsighted, of course, just these are some of the things you better to know. Slight farsighted is plus 1.25. So this is the they can see better with this. So slight forwardness and farsighted, and of course above also there 2, 3 like that. Significantly nearsighted. This symbol starts with a minus, whereas farsighted symbol starts with a plus. And here nearsighted minus 5. That means is very significant, very severe rather. But whereas mild is minus 0.25 to minus 2, and moderate is minus 2.5 to up to 5. And cylinder, of course, you know the prescription given by the ophthalmologist, they will write cylinder, astigmatism. That means the eye is not perfectly round. That's why the astigmatic error also should be corrected. National Program of Control of Blindness, there are types of blindness are there. Normal vision is 6 by 60 vision in better eye, and field vision to 20 degrees or less than 20 degrees in better eye. This is blindness. If it is less, if it is normal, 6 by 60. So he has to see at 60 meters the person with normal person, whereas upward is 6. Coming to the economic blindness, that is the counting fingers. Inability to count fingers from a distance of 6 meters with the better eye. 6 meters or 20 feet with the better eye. With the possible correction and earning wages is prevented. That is called as economic blindness. This vision is called as economic blindness. If it is 6 by 60 or less with correction or field vision to 20 degrees or less in better eye. FV means field vision. Legal blindness. Vision is less than 6 by 60 or 20 by 200. So economic blindness is 6 by 60 or less, but legal blindness is must be say less than 6 by 60 or 20 by 200. That means 20 feet and 200 feet, 6 meters and 60 meters. Or less than in the better eye with correction and our visual field less than 0 degrees centrally. So here legal blindness, visual field is less than 0 degrees. In economic blindness, field vision is 20 degrees or less, but not it is 0 like legal blindness. Coming to the social blindness. Socially hinders the person to interact with the family and peer with a satisfactory manner. So with his friends and family, he cannot interact. And also inability to count fingers at a distance of 3 meters with better eye, with best correction, vision 3 by 60 or diminution of field vision to 10 degrees. So that is called as social blindness. Normal is 6 by 60, whereas social blindness is 3 by 60. Here, manifest blindness. It is a visual acuity of 1 by 60 with Sneller's chart, or just perception of light in the better eye. Either 1 by 60 or perception of light. So that's called as manifest blindness. Absolute blindness. It is the inability to perceive light in any eye. Absolute means he cannot see anything, even light also. Curable blindness. Reversible by prompt management. That is cataract. Example is cataract. So if it is done properly, the surgery, then cataract will be operated and the vision comes to normal, reversible to normal. Preventable blindness. So prevention of loss of vision by effective preventive or prophylactic measures. So certain measures are there for xerophthalmia, glaucoma, trachoma, visual antibiotics, glaucoma by appropriate drugs and ophthalmic medicines, and xerophthalmia, usually vitamin A deficiency, it occurs. So, and also appropriate vitamin A should be given as per the age. Avoidable blindness. Some of curable and preventable blindness. So avoidable means it consists of curable blindness and also preventable blindness. Visual acuity. It is the sharpness of vision measured as the maximum distance at which a person can see the same object. So the object should not be changed when the visual acuity is changed, is tested. So it is the sharpness of vision or clarity of object measured as the maximum distance at which a person can see. Coming to the World Health Organization defined blindness is visual acuity less than 3 by 60, Snellen or its equivalent. Inability to count fingers in daylight at a distance of 3 meters as per National Prevention of Control of Blindness. Also, it is social blindness. So as per NPCB is social blindness, whereas in the visual acuity less than 3 by 60 by World Health Organization is also just blindness. Then the definitions, goals and objectives, and there are some strategies are there. Development of institutions like medical college, regional eye institutions, development of manpower, trained manpower, optometrists, and also strengthening of service delivery, quality service delivery, and also promotion of outreach activities and public awareness programs like IEC. And other major activities like care of vitamin A deficiency, control of trachoma, ophthalmic assistance should be instituted, chemotherapy, like mass treatment, selective treatment, and surgical correction, and for cataract, chemotherapy for trachoma. And organization, national, state, and district blindness control society. There is a chance to get a short notes or essay question on this district blindness control society. It is a comprehensive school and also community-wise services, manpower and infrastructure. Revised strategies and activities. There are cataract operations along with NGOs, civil works, that is intersectoral, and training of the manpower and staff, community assistant classes, and also prescriptions and charts like that should be arranged. IEC, like information, education, communication for the awareness, and also campaigns, and management of information system. So whatever the system is there, it should be managed appropriately so that the people will be benefited, the targeted people will be benefited. This is monitoring and evaluation. Monitor every day-to-day activities and evaluate whether they are correct or not correct, appropriate or not appropriate. School-wise screening programs and should be conducted for the visual impairment and also for blindness and also other aspects of these eye problems, like far-sighted, short-sighted, nearsightedness. Collection and utilization of donated eyes. So, donation of eyes is also very important from the community, from the people, so that they should be collected and utilized appropriately, for that system is there. National Program of Control of Blindness. 100% centrally sponsored. In 1976 it is established. It incorporates earlier trachoma program. So initially trachoma program in 1968, later NPCB 1976. So this trachoma program is merged with the NPCB. Goal of NPCB: reduce the prevalence of blindness from 1.4 to 0.3%. So our national goal is 0.3% prevalence of blindness. So present rate is 1.4. It should be reduced. And 2006 and 7 year survey, prevalence is 1%. So it is reduced in 2006. And globally, blind persons are 37 million. In India, it is 12 million. Blind persons are 12 million. So as per the definition of the blindness. Visual acuity, less than 6/60. 1% in 2006 and 7 NPCB survey. Corneal, out of this, corneal problems are 26% of 12 million, and also economically blind is 1.38%. So we should concentrate on the child problems very much. Here, World Health Organization International Classification of Diseases of Low Vision and Visual Impairment. NPCB low vision is a no impairment, category 1, before category, no impairment or mild impairment, category 1, category 2, category 3, category 4, category 5. Here, no impairment means mild impairment or mild impairment. It is more than 6/18. That means the person who can see at a distance of 18 meters, that is normal, but whereas the upper one is 6, that is abnormal. So he can see only at 6 meters. He has to come forward, but not go back to 18 meters. Then only he can see at the distance of 6 meters. Then category 1, it is less than 6/18 to 6/60. That is low vision or moderate impairment. So mild impairment more than 6/18, and moderate impairment less than 6/18 to 6/60. Category 2, less than 6/60 to 3/60. That is severe impairment. So when it comes to 3/60, it is severe. When it comes to 6/60, moderate impairment, or less than 6/18. to 6 by 16. Then more than 6 by 18, it is mild impairment. Coming to the category 3, that is blindness. So above 3 are low vision, no impairment, category 1 and category 2. Whereas blindness consists of category 3, category 4, category 5. In this, less than 3 by 60 to 1 by 60, social blindness. They cannot enjoy, they cannot have any face-to-face in the family or with the friends. And the category 4, less than 1 by 60 to light perception. So, manifest. So, only they will react to light perception, that is less than 1 by 60. It is already manifested. Whereas category 5, no perception of light, absolute. So that means even he cannot see anything. Co-region, also how the blindness is there in India and also world. It is blindness and also low vision. Blindness is 39.4 in the world, 8.1 in India, blindness, whereas all are in millions, 8.1 millions, 39.4 millions. And in low vision in India, it is 62.6 and world 295.4. So these are the things. Coming to the classification of states of India by prevalence of blindness. So as per the prevalence of blindness, the states are classified or categorized like low, moderate, high, very high, or all are in millions only. The category of the prevalence of blindness. Low, less than 1, moderate 1 to 1.49, high 1.5 to 1.99, very high more than 2 or equal to 2. So less than 1 to 2, it is categorized. Less than 1, Delhi, Himachal Pradesh, others. Whereas moderate, Andhra Pradesh, Assam, Bengal, and Gujarat. And high, Maharashtra, Odisha, Tamil Nadu, and UP. And very high, Jammu and Kashmir, and Madhya Pradesh, and Rajasthan. So these are the division of the class as per the prevalence. The states or union territories are divided as per the prevalence of blindness. Estimated magnitude of childhood blindness. Usually, world or a country, they are comparing with the Asia and also in developing countries and also developed countries. Asia, 1200 million people are there, less than 6-year prevalence. Blindness is 1.1 per thousand. Estimated number of blind children are 2,64,000 in Asia. Coming to the causes of childhood blindness. What are the causes of childhood blindness in developing countries and developed countries? That is, developing low-income groups and developed is high-income groups. In developing countries, corneal scarring 70% due to vitamin A deficiency. Measles, ophthalmia neonatorum, corneal ulceration. So these are the causes for the corneal scarring due to vitamin A deficiency and others. Congenital rubella syndrome also there. You know that it is caused by mumps. And retinopathy of prematurity. Because of the low oxygen, the eye will be affected in the fetal itself. Then after birth, it may affect the eye and lead to blindness. Congenital cataract and glaucoma, 10 to 30%, and refractive errors also are the causes of the childhood blindness. In developing countries, mostly CNS, central nervous system disorders, and retinal conditions and other dystrophies. And suppose already they are sick or normal ages from 0 to 5, 6 to 11, 12 or above months, how much vitamin A should be given, it is noted here. Xerophthalmia condition, age in months 0 to 5, 50,000 international units, oral vitamin A deficiency. Next day, 50,000 international units. Follow up, same age specific. Like that, 6 to 11 months of age, oral vitamin A dose given initially 1 lakh international units. Next day, 1 lakh international units. That means 50 lakhs, 50,000 first day, second day, 50,000 for the 0 to 5. For 6 to 11 months, first day 1 lakh international units, second day 1 lakh international. Total 2 lakhs, that is 1 lakh. Coming to 12 months or above 12 months. 2 lakh international units first day, second day 2 lakh international. That means 4 lakh international units. So here already follow-up is there, same age specific dose 2 weeks later and 2 weeks later. Coming to the measles, the giraffe-thalmia, that is the dose schedule. For measles schedule, age in months 0 to 5, 50,000 first day, second day 50,000, then third dose also will be given. Coming to the 6 to 11 months, and 1 lakh international units followed by 1 lakh international units next day. Then after 2 to 4 weeks later also. So initially 2 days, 2 to 6 to 11 months, 2 lakhs, and 0 to 5 months, 1 lakh total. And third dose also will begin here 2 to 4 weeks later also. If there are signs of giraffe-thalmia, immediately refer child to hospital. If giraffe-thalmia is present, you know, there is a classification of giraffe-thalmia. If you refer, you will get it. Then any sign of giraffe-thalmia, so that will be referred to child hospital. Coming to the 12 months or above, 2 lakh international units first day, 2 lakhs international units second day. So total 4 lakhs international, that will be sufficient. Then coming to severe malnutrition, and for 0 to 5 months, 6 to 11 months, 12 months or above. For 0 to 5 months, 50,000 international units only. Then 6 to 11 months, 1 lakh international units. 12 or above 12 months, 2 lakh international units. So this is the vitamin A dosage schedule for giraffe-thalmia, measles, severe malnutrition at different age groups from 0 to 5, say 6 to 11 months, 12 months or above. Essentials of community-based blindness control program. Education of the community regarding major eye diseases and the infrastructure available to treatment and prevention. So identify the diseases, appropriate treatment and prevention should be instituted. Promotion of food technology, food delivery, and education regarding good nutrition to prevent malnutrition and vitamin A deficiency. So good and appropriate balanced diet is very important. Then MCH, including immunization, especially against measles, because measles causes the vitamin A deficiency and also other problems. Supplying adequate and safe drinking water and attending to environmental sanitation to prevent diarrhea and trachoma. So, and sanitation and also drinking water to prevent trachoma and diarrhea. Then fifth one is actively involving the community in the recognition and appropriate care of persons who are prone to blinding disease. So certain person will be more prone to blindness, especially they may be working in the industries, and also adequate feeding and ORS of children with severe measles and diarrhea. So children are very much prone because feeding is inadequate, good nutrition, balanced nutrition is not available, and also diarrhea causes may not be getting the ORS appropriately. So these two things should be taken care of, ORS and appropriate feeding. Adequate provision of infrastructure for the treatment of potentially blinding disorders. So treatment of potentially blinding disorders so that they will avoid corneal ulcers, cataract and glaucoma, because these will cause the blinding disorders: glaucoma, cataract and corneal ulcers. Provision of essential drugs based on local needs. Whatever the drugs are there as per the local needs. Suppose sometimes it may be more glaucoma is there, sometimes some other areas cataract may be there, some other areas corneal ulcers are there. So as per the situation of the condition, drugs should be supplied. Then main causes of blindness. So many causes are there. Now main causes are cataract, refractive error. Cataract usually in the adults, refractive error mostly in children, and also glaucoma is also adolescents and also adults. Corneal pathologies mostly in children. So accordingly, we have to pay attention towards the conditions. The major causes of childhood blindness. So these are the main causes of blindness. The major causes. Major causes are visual impairment due to uncorrected refractive error. So then it may confirm as a refractive error because it's not corrected. Then vitamin deficiencies, it may lead to corneal pathology, ophthalmia, and also other problems. Development cataract. So cataract will be developing, but that is not taken care of. Optic atrophy will be there, maybe sometimes congenital and sometimes accidental. Congenital anomalies, of course, is by birth. Certain disorders will be there. National Program of Control of Blindness. Main objectives of the program are 12th 5-year plan. One is continue signature activities. So signature activities, it is defined and on paper. And number 1 is cataract. Number 2 is free spectacles. Number 3 is donated eyes. Cataract operation should be done 60 lakhs per year. Whereas screening of school children, 9 lakhs free spectacles to the students with refractive errors. So after recognizing the refractive error, free spectacles should be given to school children, around 9 lakhs. And donated eyes, 50,000 should be collected for keratoplasty. So the eyes, the keratoplasty should be used for the keratoplasty surgery, especially from the donated eyes. Reduce backlog of avoidable blindness by identification and treatment. So whatever the backlog is there, avoidable blindness, that is avoidable blindness means complete curable blindness and preventive blindness. Curable blindness at primary, secondary, tertiary levels based on assessment of visual impairment. So as per the definition of the visual impairment, we have to identify the curable blindness. Develop and strengthen the National Program for Control of Blindness for Eye Health provision and prevention of visual impairment through comprehensive care services and quality service delivery. So these are very important. Not only care, but also quality. Strengthen and upgrade the regional institutions of ophthalmology. Strengthen existing infrastructure, human resource, and high quality comprehensive care services. Community awareness on eye care and prevention of blindness. So how a person should take care of the eyes and also to prevent the blindness. It should be done through the IEC. Research and public-private partnership and also NGOs help. Especially for diabetic retinopathy, glaucoma, corneal transplantation, vitreoretinal surgery, treatment of childhood blindness. That is the usually childhood blindness is avoidable unless it is congenital and other causes. Salient features to achieve the objective. One is reduction of backlog, another is refractive error, and another is PPP, and another is capacity building measures, and the last one is to strengthen the regional institutions. Reduction of backlog of blindness more than 50 years of age by screening, and refractive error by screening children with free glasses. School eye screening, distribute 9 lakh glasses for refractive errors. And PPP, coverage of underserved areas. The staff is usually the ophthalmology centers like primary, secondary, tertiary. They should be given capacity building measures. They should be enrich with capacity building by training and also hands-on experience, so on and so forth. IEC for awareness. Strengthen regional institutional ophthalmology medical college as COE centers of excellence. One is medical college, another is regional institutional ophthalmology. They should be strengthened as centers of excellence, COE. District hospitals upgrade, improve primary health care and eye care vision centers in all primary health centers with a PMOA, that's Primary Mobile Ophthalmic Center, and also IEC aware of eye care. Develop multi-purpose district mobile ophthalmic unit and also state ophthalmic center, SOC. Merged with, now SOC is merged with SBCCS, that is State Blindness Control Society. State ophthalmic into the State Ophthalmic Center, SBCS is merged. And again, this State Blindness Control Society merged with SHS, that is State Health Society. So SOC with SBCS, SBCS with SHS. Then facilities for intraocular lens implantation should be provided. Then 80 central mobile units attached to medical colleges, 341 DMOU or DMU eye care in mobile units. And the Center of Excellence, already we have discussed medical college and regional eye care. Then multi-purpose district mobile ophthalmic units. Free ongoing signature activities. Already we have discussed 66 lakh cataract operations per year, collection of 50,000 donated eyes per year for keratoplasty, reduced backlog of avoidable blindness through primary, secondary, tertiary levels as per the visual impairment definition. Eye health for all strategy, NPCB strategy for prevention of visual impairment through comprehensive care and quality delivery services. Quality of care. To avoid the duplicity of work, merging of SOC with the SBCS. And SBCS merged with the SHS after NRHM Mission Program, National Rural Health Mission Program. DBCS, District Blindness Control Society with District Health Society. Because the District Blindness Control Society has a lot of functions and a lot of persons and key role in the in this program, NPCB. At taluk level, facilities for IOL, intraocular lens implantation. So now the IOL facilities are also there at the taluk level. PHCs are the basic units in rural areas. So in districts, District Blindness Control Society, in rural areas, PHCs are the basic units. 84% of cataract surgeries with free spectacles and sutureless surgeries should be done. Without any suture, like laser, and with free spectacles after surgery. Organizational structuring. So it is actually like a pyramid shape. Top is central and the bottom is the state and the lower base is the district. So district, state, central, and also like that also triangular shape. Tertiary is the top, secondary is the middle, primary is the base. So in the central DGHS, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare Department, state level, District Health Service and State Health Services, State Ophthalmic Cell, Directorate of Health Services in the state level, and district level, District Control Society will be there. Service delivery and referral system. So this is the administration, organization structure. Administration is central, state, and district. Whereas service delivery and referral system, tertiary, secondary, primary. So from primary to secondary, secondary to tertiary. In tertiary, regional eye or ophthalmic institutions as COE, Center of Excellence in Eye Care, like medical colleges. And secondary level, district health and NGOs, eye health. Primary, sub-district hospital, School eye healthcare, and also MOU and upgraded PHCs. Link workers are there and panchayats. Link workers means they have the links with the social groups and community. They will make each other to share the problems, and also the problems will be to upper grade, like institutions also, like districts, state, and PHCs and district, or PHCs, taluks and districts. So that is they are the link workers. They will also be paid, but they are temporary, not permanent workers. Usually, sometimes 8,000 rupees per month also they may be paid. So that is the school eye screening program, collection and utilization of donated eyes. Vision 2020 right to sight we will discuss. School eye screening program. 6 to 7% of 10 to 14 years of age eyesight. So they have the eyesight under this group, 10 to 14 years group, 67% have eye problems. Refractive error by teacher, and teacher should identify in the class, then should be referred to the ophthalmic assistant for corrective spectacles, free for below poverty line, BPL. Collection of utilization of donated eyes. 2015-16, 24,510 donated eyes were collected for corneal implantation. Eye donation campaign, eye banking. Every year, 25th August to 8th September, this eye donation campaign will be conducted. School eye screening program. Health education and control blindness by Rotary and Lions clubs. Community health education for NPCB, regular eye checkup, and vitamin A prophylaxis and service facilities in rural areas. And also IPHS, Indian Public Health Standards for codification. RKS, Rogi Kalyan Samiti promotion for hospital management. Service standards and costs, development for the hospitals. So the triangular diagram is there here. The top is the tertiary level, middle is the secondary level, bottom is the primary level. So 3, 2, 1 are from below up, 1, 2, 3. One is primary level. So this is the reverse one, whereas the left one is the correct one, right one is not the correct one. At primary level, target disease or cataract, refractive error. Advise and refer child blindness, corneal blindness, glaucoma, diabetic retinopathy. At secondary level, four-tier system is there. So in the middle, four-tier system is there. That is the training center, center of excellence. One is center of excellence. There will be 20 in India. Training centers 200, service centers 2,000, vision centers 20,000. At tertiary level, top level, service centers are 2,000 and vision centers are 20,000. So these are the categorization for the right to sight and right to sight vision 2020. Primary from base to from bottom up is primary level, secondary level, tertiary level. As per World Health Organization, 285 million visually impaired, 39 million will be blind in 2010. Services of refractive error cataract surgeries decreased. Two-thirds of visually impaired recover good eyesight. Causes of blindness are avoidable, like removal of diabetes, smoking, premature birth, rubella, vitamin A deficiency. Eye health including communicable diseases, non-communicable diseases. CD and NCD aging populations, key to control, provision of effective and accessible eye care services, strengthened with PHCs, peer primary health care, and avoidable causes like diabetes, smoking, premature birth, rubella, vitamin A deficiency. National level indicators are there to measure the progress of the National Program for Control of Blindness. Prevalence should be less than 25% by 2019 year. Number of eye care personnel, cataract surgical services, delivery surgeries per year per million. So how many cataracts cataract surgical services are there, how many number of eye care personnel are there, and how much reduction of the prevalence of blindness is there. So these are the indicators. Coming to the cataracts surgical rate, it is surgeries performed. Cataract surgical coverage, it is individuals covered by visual impairment categorization. The right to sight, it may be a short note. Right to sight source, primary, secondary, tertiary levels, it will be dealt. And vision centers, 20,000 primary level, refraction prescription classes, primary eye care, school eye screening program, screening and referral services. And secondary service center like 20,000 cataract surgery, other common eye surgeries, facilities for eye refraction, referral services. And tertiary center of excellence and training centers, and center of excellence 20, training centers 200. And professional leadership, strategy development, continuing medical education, and also quality of assurance services. Research will be done at COE. Whereas training centers, there will be training and CME tertiary care, including retinal eye surgery, cornea transplantation, glaucoma surgery. So these are the aspects of the National Prevention Control Board. There is a short, briefly, I will discuss about IDD. National Iodine Deficiency Disorders Program. Introduction, definition, objectives, achievements, prevention, National Iodine Deficiency Disorders Program, goiter and function, clinical evidence, and endemic goiter, and indicators of iodine deficiency like TZR, TSH, and UIA tests. IDD control program, essential components of IDD control program, and achievements. Coming to the iodine deficiency disorders, introduction. World population 31%, school children 29.8% globally, and iodine deficiency areas at risk are 350 million. Coming to India, yearly 9 million pregnant and 8 million newborns at risk by household level coverage adequately as per CES, Coverage Evaluation Survey 2009. So, iodine salt should be supplied adequately to reduce the problem. 263 out of 325 districts IDD is a public health problem. So public health problem districts are 263 out of 325 districts. Coming to the prevention of iodine deficiency disorders. Number one is iodized salt. Iodine concentration 20 to 40 ppm to provide 150 micrograms of iodine per person per day. And if 20% lost by transport or 20% by cooking also, this much will be available, 20 to 40 ppm if you supply the iodized salt. Average consumption is 10 grams per person per year. And single IM injection 4 years. 1 ml is equal to 480 micrograms per of iodine. 480 micrograms of iodine, 1 ml. Daily intake. Daily intake for preschool children, school children, adolescent, and pregnant women and lactating. For preschool children, it is 90 micrograms. And for school children, 120 micrograms. The adolescent, 150 micrograms per day. And for pregnant and lactating women, 250 micrograms. So 90, 120, 150, 250. Coming to the goiter. What is goiter? Thyroid gland enlargement. When lateral lobe is enlarged, usually we have to examine the child, whether the terminal phalanx of the thumb of the child being examined, it will show enlargement or something. It may be congenital or acquired, or it may be sporadic or endemic. Function, diminished, normal, increased thyroid function. Test, palpation, ultrasonography. So function is by, it may be diminished function, normal function, increased thyroid function. And the test should be by palpation or ultrasonography. So, clinical evidence of hypothyroidism. So what is hypothyroidism? Increased TSH will be there, but decreased T3 and T4 will be there. Differential diagnosis of endemic goiter does not differ from non-toxic, diffuse, sporadic goiter only by epidemiological criteria. So epidemiologically only you have to diagnose from the endemic goiter from non-toxic, diffuse, and sporadic goiter. What is endemic cretinism? Endemic goiter with severe iodine deficiency with mental retardation, spastic or rigid neuromotor disorder. There are two types of endemic cretinism: neurological, myxedematus. What is neurological? Deaf mutism, squint, proximal spasticity, rigidity in the lower limbs, preservation of vegetative functions like stance, gait disorders, cerebellar, oculomotor disturbances, and mental deficiency. Myxedematus cretinism, retarded psychomotor development, short stature, coarse facial features, myxedema without deaf mutism. Deaf mutism only in the neurological, only myxedema, myxedematus. Goiters on treatment, shrink and form nodules. Treatment of endemic cretinism eliminates signs of hypothyroidism, but not neuromotor intellectual. Even though you treat the endemic cretinism, you will eliminate the hypothyroid function, but not you cannot eliminate neuromotor or intellectual deficiency. So what are the indicators of the iodine deficiency? One is TZR, and the second one is TSH assay. Third one is UIE, that means urinary iodine excretion. TZR, total goiter rate, with goiters of grade 1 and 2 divided by total examined of school children 6 to 12 years of age. So grading, already graded goiters by examined children, that is the total goiter rate, usually 55% or more. TZR, if it is 5 to 19.9, mild iodine deficiency disorder. If it is moderate iodine deficiency, TZR is 20 to 29.9. If it is severe, it is 30% or more. So these are the classification as per the TZR. Screening of prenatal hypothyroidism using TSH assay. So if you want to screen the prenatal hypothyroidism, take the TSH assay on a sample collected from neonates of 3 to 4 days after birth, and less than 3% of frequency of TSH values, and more than 5 milliliters milliunits per liter. So more than 5 milliunits per liter iodine deficiency. So that is the iodine deficiency. It is more than 5 milliunits per liter or less than 3% frequency of TSH values. So this is the classification of the prenatal, definition of the prenatal hypothyroidism screening by TSH assay. Coming to the urinary iodine excretion, UIE, if it is less than 100 micrograms per liter, spot urine sample for school children, pregnant women. So after getting the spot urine sample, if it is less than 100 micrograms per liter, that indicates urinary iodine excretion, and that also an indicator of iodine deficiency. 1962 goiter program commenced in India based on iodized salt. Objectives of surveys to assess the magnitude of the IDD in districts and supply of iodized salt in place of common salt. So these are the objectives. Resurveys to assess IDD and the impact of iodized salt after every 5 years. Lab monitoring of iodized salt and urinary iodine excretion, and health education and publicity. So coming to the IDD control program, national program was initiated nationwide. It's not area-wise, area-specific. And to fortify all the edible salt by the end of 8th plan. So all the common salt should be fortified with edible salt, with the iodized salt. Edible salt with the iodized salt fortification. Essential components of ID program. Use of iodized salt in place of common salt. Proportion of household using adequate iodized salt should be more than 90%. Then monitoring and surveillance and manpower training and mass. These are the essential components. Mass communication, mean urinary iodine level of general population is 100 to 199 micrograms per liter. Pregnant women is 150 to 249 micrograms per liter. National program for elimination of IDD, political commitment, legislation and universal salt iodization, education and social mobilization, quality control, national database on salt iodine context, urinary iodine and monitoring procedure. And significant achievements. So what are the significant achievements? Usually by iodized salt production should be improved, and also supply should be improved. To to the areas of the nation, and also licenses should be given by the commissioner to the salt manufacturers. And the production should be increased and supply should be distributed appropriately. Notification banning the sale of non-iodized salt for different human consumption in country. So banning of the non-iodized salt is very important after licensing and production and also manufacturing and supply to the people. It is issued under Food Safety and Standards Act 2006 and Regulations 2011. So as per this act, it is issued this ban of the non-iodized salt. And IDD control cells in the state health directorates in the respective states and unities. They will take control of the state. And the severity of public health problem. So indicator is the goiter and also median urinary iodine excretion. So these are two indicators depending on that mild, moderate, severe degree of public health problem will be decided. Suppose if it is mild, it will be 5 to 19.9. That is the goiter. 0%, okay. Goiter, if it is 5 to 19.9, it is mild. Moderate is 20 to 29.9. That is 20 to less than 30. Moderate, severe, 30 or more than 30. That is a severe. If the goiter enlargement is there. Median urinary iodine excretion is if it is 52 less than 100 or 50 to 99, and 22 less than 50 or 20 to 50, 49, or if it is severe, less than 20. So median UIE, severe is less than 20, moderate is 20 to 49, mild is 50 to 99. So this is the public health problem, and it will be decided as per the goiter and also median UIE. So at this stage, I want to start the lecture. So next week we will meet again for the remaining national health programs.